It's the dawning of a new era where homes can be built in 9 days. 9 days under the roof of a factory, and they can be delivered to your property and plugged in like a dishwasher. We're going to talk about manufactured homes. Stay tuned.
Good morning.
Come on, Billy Bob.
Kyle, are you stressed? I'm stressed for a Monday morning.
Yeah, you tried to do too much and you just stress yourself out.
You know what's worse than that, though? You know, I had like this grand master plan, and it just didn't happen. That's right. For next week, we know now. For next week, we know.
We do, but guys and girls, this morning's an interesting topic where I've recently visited a factory where they've built homes, and literally in 9 days from zero to on the back of a truck, they are building these homes. It is one impressive thing to watch, and they are beautiful homes. So we're going to talk about the necessity for manufactured home, how much they cost, where they're built, what they rent for. It's a whole new sector.
It's pretty nuts, and these are a great addition for people living in the home that need more space. So you could potentially save yourself, a big move or a big sell up and buying again if you need more space, or if a secondary income. These are killer rental return.
They're really good. Do you want to stand aside for a sec? We'll just show people, Billy, what they are. That is a typical one. Basically, you can build any style that you want. That's more of a contemporary, modern type of looking home. But yeah, you can do whatever you want, right, Billy Bob? You can do basically whatever you want with these things.
So am I right in saying that they start off in the factory and then they can clad them so they can kind of look like any other normal home at the end?
Yeah, I went out to Armidale to look at Uniplan, Uniplan. Unbelievable company. So structured, so organised. I think they also do the cabinetry, shaving cabinets for Harvey Norman and stuff. They're a big operation.
Okay.
Now, under this one roof, they start off with a dolly. You know what a dolly is?
No, what's a dolly?
So it's basically a trolley. So it's a big tray with a whole bunch of wheels on it. It's like a trolley dolly. So you see like bread delivery guys have them. You see removalists have them. It's basically like a big board with heaps of wheels. So the way they start building this is it's basically. Have you any photos there, Billy Bob?
I'm trying to pull them up now as you talk.
We'll have all these photos. The way they start is, first of all, there's a cage which is on a dolly that has all of the parts of the house. So that has from the windows to the door locks to the handles to the hinges to the lights, the electrical, the light switches, everything is on that cage that's on a dolly. Then there's another dolly which is going to be what they're going to build the house on. So it starts off, and testing my memory here, but it starts off with the framers. So the framers work on the house, say for 4 or 5 hours. They go build up all the frames. They then slide the whole dolly over to a new department and say that's the window guys. The window guys go and then they slide that to the next department, and it's the roof guys. They go and each of them spend about 4 hours, 4 or 5 tradespeople from each industry smashing that house, and that house just slides along the production line because it's on wheels.
No,
any questions, Billy?
I haven't got Mark's photos. We've had a bit of a technical issue this morning, but as you're saying, like they're starting to crane these things into place, right? So
No, that's not there. So this is just this is under a factory roof.
So under the factory
So
roof, yeah.
under the factory roof, they basically just build. So they'll have piece of timber by piece of timber, and there'll be four guys just smashing the house, and
Yeah.
then it'll slide to the window guys, bang, 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 bang on the outside. Then they'll slide to the plumbing guys, bang, 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 all the plumbing on the inside. So it's just the most impressive build. They end up building the house in 9 days, and then it goes onto the back of the truck on the 10th, 11th day, whatever it is, and it gets shipped in one half to the site. I actually built one of these houses, and I'm really, really happy with it.
Does it feel like a cheap build? Like, is there time versus quality? I guess
No.
It does put into perspective why a big construction, concrete, and all, I know it's got a set and things like that, but how much time it takes versus a quick one.
Yeah, well, look, it's basically it's a timber home. I think they're doing them in steel even now as well, but it's a timber home. It's built like a conventional timber home, and there's some real good magic to it. One of the things is if you're doing these as a granny flat, these manufactured homes, you can actually crane them out at the end of their use. So if, for instance, they plug in like a dishwasher, so the crane comes, drops it in place, hot water, cold water, drain, electricity, you're done. It literally just plugs in like a dishwasher. And the magic is that they've got a resale value to them. If you build a granny flat on your block of land, it's going to stay there forever. And if someone wants to build a massive house and it's in the way, bad luck. But this thing they can actually pick up with a crane and resell to someone who owns a farm, for instance.
Very true. And as you said, makes no difference really to like that existing structure, like as a comparison, right? So they still rent the same, still have the same livability.
Same. So, the house that I did's up the coast, and it rents for $550 a week. And you can build these homes for about 150 grand, 200 grand. These manufactured homes, and then so after you place the order in, they just ring you up and say, look, your house is ready when it's ready, and then they'll send the trucks out. So it's free installation, I think, up to 300 kilometres around Armidale, for instance, with these guys Uniplan. They'll come in, they'll manage the whole installation for you. The GST's included, the installation's included, the footings that they're putting down for you is included. It's basically on-site delivered for a really economical price. But Billy, I do have to say that that fact that you can sell the structure is a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, was it difficult with access, getting it in?
No, because you'd be surprised where these cranes can get into. So these cranes can do, I guess, a 20, 30, 40 ton lift, and they got a big boom. So as long as you can get a semi trailer into the street, as long as you can, it's like a tractor that unloads the semi trailer. It is a tractor. So so you know how you have a big bed of a semi trailer?
Yeah.
They have another bed, another trailer on top of that semi-trailer, and that's what the house lives on. So the tractor drives up onto the tray of the semi, hooks up to the trailer that's on the semi, and then that tractor drives it off, drives it into position, and then the crane will just lift and drop. And then the guys, they winch the two, because if you've got a wide home, they'll do two lengths, and then they winch it together and they lock it, and then they gyprock it up, and you'd never know it's joined. Like that house you've got behind you is two pieces.
Yeah. Well, you've got the people curious now. Where is it? And was it on a granny flat? Is it a granny flat or a whole house on vacant land?
both. It can do both. So these houses can be made up in modules. So if you want them to be a larger home, you can get it made. You can get a manufactured home made this way. Or if you want it, as a granny flat and it has to remain under 60 metres squared, well, you can get that design as well. Mine were actually houses.
Wow.
So they were bigger than 60 metres squared. And it's the best.
2-story?
I've got a design for 2-story that they've done for me. So yes,
Wow.
it's possible to get it done.
These are the guys. These are the guys who go to them.
Well, you know where it's good, Billy? It's because it's a controlled environment. There's no rain, there's no weather that can slow you down or slow production down. So these guys are I think they've pumped out 400 homes in the last 12 months. It's just moving through that, and they don't get stopped. You can imagine how many days people were rained out last year, but not with manufactured homes.
And they probably get to work through the night as well if they're a big team. I can imagine.
Actually, I didn't think of that. Yeah, you'd be able to they'd be able to get 24/7 turnarounds. Yeah, it's true because they're in a factory.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We've covered a topic you might not have thought of today, but we do see these. I guess you could say more common. They're granny flats around here. They got massive returns. They rent really well because they're new as well. They compete against all of the new stock. They beat a lot of the older stock in around parts of the beaches like DY because they look fresh, right? And if you can add the privacy, they're like little homes.
They look great. And look, I think like someone like on the northern beaches, for instance, you can, if someone was considering a manufactured home, it may start off its life because they're removable. It may start off its life in your backyard as a granny flat in Narrowena or Beacon Hill for the first half of its life, and it may finish up its life on a farm, your farm. You end up just getting it craned up and shot up, south coast, north coast, inland or whatever, or you sell it because the way construction costs is going up. If you're building one of these homes for 150 grand or whatever, 180 grand, and you're selling it in 10 years, because construction costs moves so sharply upwards, it's probably going to be worth half or the same amount that you bought it for. Very different to a conventional granny flat.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think I definitely wouldn't have thought about that. Have you ever had or heard stories of councils having issues with these? Councils not approving them or letting them in?
No.
Same as a granny flat? It's just same eligibility? Yep. Same.
Yeah. Look, I think that the main difference with the way they build the way they build a conventional home is the way they fasten the home to the ground. And when the place is fixed to a slab and fastened to a slab, it's sort of never going to really be removable. But this is fastened to a framing system like a floor, and then that floor can sit on another floor, or that can sit on some sort of beams. So it's really the difference. From what I know, and I may be wrong, but I have built one. It's the way that it actually sits affixed to the ground that makes it unique and different with these manufactured home to a conventional granny flat. But I think it's worth the fuss because you can always sell it later. Or Billy, you may even move it around your block.
It's literally like the dishwasher. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be moved between different parts of the house. It's nuts to think about, really. Yeah, perfect for people with a farm.
Well, that's right. It may be, the main house for some years on a farm, and if you do build a main house, you may end up lifting this thing up and selling it off your farm, or you may relocate it to a different part of your farm.
Here's a good one. Good morning, Nicole. Nicole's brother put one on as a second rental on his property in Queensland. still only paying one land tax, no strata levies.
Yeah.
Very
Well, that's
clever.
right, because you've already bought your land. You're already paying your fixed costs. That's a good point. So you're literally snapping on a structure and an income, whereas normally you've got all the infrastructure you got to snap on as well and pay for that.
Yeah. I think that's the show. I'm sorry we don't have too many photos this morning, but yeah, they look pretty cool. There's plenty
Do you want me to bring-
online though. What did
do
you
you want
say
me
the? What did you say
do you
the?
want me to bring?
Yeah,
I'll
check
bring
them
one
out.
up. Yeah, watch this. Wow,
But
here we go.
the company name?
Uniplan,
Uniplan.
UNIPLAN.
They're the guys to go and see.
Yeah, I got it here. Watch this. Add. I'm trying to add it.
As stress free as ordering like a new car or something like that, Mark.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Choose your color,
It was-
choose your tinted windows if you want them, and then they just
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to do a video, that didn't work, but let me try to do not a background, overlay. Is it an overlay?
An overlay you might struggle because you haven't quite got the green screen we've got in the office.
Here we go, overlay.
But they're pretty cool.
There we go. Uploading. You reckon it's going to work?
Hope
Pretty
so.
impressive if it does.
Hey, is that your one?
Yeah.
Wow. Looks
Yeah.
very nice. So you can almost see
So
where they would have delivered it in, and then
yeah, do you want to see the photos of the delivery?
yeah, put it up. So you got a couple
Look
there.
at these.
Did they have to lay a
Oh,
slab or anything, or were they leveled the ground off?
They did strip footings. They did little strip footings. Let me see if I got some photos of that. Here they come. Yeah, beautiful. That's the bathroom of a manufactured home.
Yeah, they're great. It's honestly
That's-
like a new unit.
I wanted mine to look a little bit country. So I looked a bit. You could make it look like brick or concrete or however you feel, but I wanted mine to be a little bit country. So I did that sort of wrought iron look. There's that. Have I got any other photos for you? The delivery, internals.
We had one on a truck earlier.
Oh, actually, I'll show you. I'll show you how it sits on the ground, because before we did the landscaping. Yeah, I had one where it was. Yeah, there's Lacey Lou. That's on the ground. Here you go. That's the crane. That's the truck. That's the half. That's that trailer.
We've still got the same photo as last time. Are they
There
uploading?
it goes. Yeah, they're coming now. Watch this. You're gonna love this. So if anyone has just tuned in, we're looking at manufactured homes, how they get installed. So it basically just sits on the ground like that. So they put that. Mine had to go a little bit higher because there was a flooding sort of issue there.
Right.
That's when they come in on the crane. See how there's that crane that sort of just lifts it and drop. Eh?
I said, there's the project manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So you've got to have a
So
little
see
bit
those the flooring
of access. you're saying, but they
Hey?
can still crane it from the street. You're saying they've got to have a little bit of access, but they can still crane it in from the street.
Yeah, that you can do any height. You can have them on ground, but I just needed that for one in 300-year flooding. They needed it. That's a half one.
Yeah, right.
Just gets craned in, and then it comes in on the truck like that.
How cool! That's awesome.
But that little trailer, you can see get dropped into place. This little trailer can go anywhere, so the tractor can move that trailer, can move that house into wherever it needs to go, and then the crane just comes in and goes bang bang.
Yeah, wow. There you
That's a
go.
little
That
tractor
is-
there.
That's the story of how you can build your own home and move in within a week. I don't think, this is going to revolutionize granny flats. Seems like they're already smashing it in Europe. They just need to get out here and start dropping them all over the place.
Big in America. Manufactured homes are massive in America.
It's popular. You can see why. Good idea. Very good idea. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Edgen. See everyone. Bye.
Bye.